All right, my friends, you're going to have to bear with my voice just a little bit today. I know I'm sounding a little bit raspy. I'm on a 5-day tour, been out here speaking like crazy and talking and shouting and all of those things. But we're going to have an amazing episode of hashtag Rise and Grind today. So strap in and let's do this. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to 8, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind. Rise and grind.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Wednesday. That's right, today is Wednesday, also known as CMA Day. That's Carter Myers Automotive Group, one of the most amazing automotive groups on the entire planet. I get to spend Wednesday mornings with them, which is always super exciting. So we call today CMA Day. But today is Wednesday, June 9th, 2021. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Wednesday, June 9th, 2021. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible day. Hey, I'm coming to you live from the Digital Dealer Conference here in Tampa, Florida. And man, I'm telling you, it is great. It is great to be around the auto fam again. Golly, it's been a long time since we've all been able to get together. It's been absolutely phenomenal. I've been able to spend time over the last couple of days with some of my heroes, like literally my heroes in this industry, like a guy named John Hamlin. I got to spend some time with him yesterday. He's one of a kind, man. You got some one of a kind people when it comes to automotive, but this guy's just been so impactful, man. His desire, his fight, his grit, right, that he carries with him has made such a massive impact in the auto industry for a really long time. So I got to spend some time, actually since 1988 to be exact. So I got to spend some time with him yesterday, which was amazing. There's a guy named Paul Daly that threw an incredible party last night. Him and Liza and Brian Benstock and a bunch of other ones that they delivered an incredible keynote. And so Paul's just been doing some great things for this industry, really being disruptive. And I got to meet him. Him and I are aligned in so many ways. Of course, I got to see the one and only Brad Wise, which Brad Wise is with the Furman Auto Group down here in Tampa, Florida, and also one of my favorite dealers. So being able to spend some time with him, he's just a great dude that I totally honor and look up to. You know what I mean? And so being able to spend time with all each of them has been great. And of course, so many more, Liza and Brian, got to spend a lot of time with them, which is just amazing. But it's truly been incredible. Not just the connections and so on and so forth, but the classes have been great. There's been a lot of value added in the classes, the connections, the networking, and mostly the overall sentiment has been so spirited that it's incredibly energizing. It's just incredibly energizing. Like, everybody is so stoked to be around other humans again. Everybody is so stoked to be learning new things about our industry again. And I think everybody's incredibly spirited because we realize that we showed up. We showed up. This thing called COVID, this pandemic, it punched us all in the mouth. It punched us all in the mouth, and we stumbled around a little bit after getting punched, right? We stumbled around and we had a hard time securing our footing there for a little while, but ultimately we were able to secure our footing, and then we were able to start fighting back. And now here we are coming together in a unique and magical way with an all-new appreciation and an all-new level of gratitude for relationships and connections. To say that I am grateful for COVID-19 would not be an accurate statement. That would not be an accurate statement in any stretch of imagination or any stretch of the word. There are so many things associated with COVID-19 that have been negative, those that have had to deal with loss and the struggles and all of those things, right? Like, I don't wish COVID-19 or this pandemic on anyone. Never, ever, ever will, right? And with that said, it has been the single most impactful experience of my lifetime, and I am thoroughly inspired by the human fight, the resiliency, and the pure grit that we have as human beings. You showed up. You did. You showed up. You got punched in the face. You stumbled. But you showed up and you never let yourself give up. You never did. And if there's one thing I've learned in this life, it is impossible to beat a man or a woman who refuses to quit. And you refused to quit. And that in itself has inspired me on a massive level. So though I am not and never will be grateful for COVID-19, I am 100% grateful for you, your fight, your resiliency, and the ability of you showing up to inspire me to do the same. And so now for this week's series, we're in this series called Profound Questions. We're going to dive further into that. But I just wanted to let you know that I am 100,000,000% grateful for you. Thanks for showing up. All right, check it out. For those of you that know, and those of you that don't know, we're going to do some dancing on this show this morning. That's right. We got to do some dancing on the show this morning because an object in motion tends to stay in motion, and an object at rest tends to stay at rest. So we got to get this body moving. We got to get the blood flowing. We got to get the heart pumping. All right? We got to do all those things right here, right now. So if you were laying in bed, I need you to get up. Get up. You're not going to accomplish anything just laying there. Let's go. It's time for you to get up. It's time for you to take some action. If you're out there exercising right now, go ahead and exercise a little bit harder. If you're running, run a little bit faster. If you're working out, go ahead and lift those weights. Come on. Just follow the beat right there. Pick up the pace just a little bit. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. This is also the part of the show where I ask you to hit that share button. That's right. If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and share this thing out. If you're on Clubhouse, please take the time right now. Just take a second. Go ahead and hit that plus button in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And all these little people with green little spots on them, those are people that are online right now. Those are people that are online, and you can invite to the room. You can say, hey, we believe that if we can change the way you start your day, it'll make a massive impact in your life. And they might just pop in here and say, well, yeah, I appreciate you changing the way I started my day. And you did just make a massive impact in my life. So go ahead and hit that plus button. Go ahead and invite some of those folks to join us over here on Clubhouse. I would appreciate it. Share it out over on Facebook. This is also the part of the show where I say good morning to you, and I would love it if you would say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live, you're watching on replay, maybe you're catching the show over on YouTube, maybe you're looking maybe you're watching or listening to the podcast. However you're enjoying today's episode of Hashtag Rise and Grind, just make sure you connect with me. It means the world to me. I'm all about connections. With that said, I want to say good morning to Kim Thayer, who's with us today. Mr. Brad Smith, good morning. What's up, Julie Lentini? I see Sean Weatherby and Janelle Griego. I see Mr. Barrett Trout and West Storm. What's up, Debbie? I see Miss Debbie Dowling Waba is in the house. My man Rodney Rock Hatfield is up in here. And I got to say happy birthday to Kimberly Hatfield. Great to see you this morning. Happy birthday. I see Michelle Berger is up in here. Martin Pig is up in here as well. Alicia Watts, Vicky Everett, and Marilyn Wilkin. Got to meet her live in the flesh last night, which was amazing. What's up, Janice Mullins? I see DM Ombro and Samantha Crimson. My man Tom Popelka is up in here. Michelle Berger is in the house as well. I also see Tiffany is joining us over on Clubhouse, and so is Sean Day. What's up, Dr. Sean Shapiro? He's up in the house this morning as well. I see Kimberly's with us, and Amanda. I see Michelle and Solana. I see my man Chris is in the house, and Miss Bernita. I see Debbie and Jay and Tony Mo and Thomas. My man Core Element is up in here this morning. We got Ronaldo, the creative, is in the house today. Great to see you, Ronaldo. I see Lily. I see Tim. I see Dustin. Mr. Brian Benstock is in the house this morning. Great to see you, Mr. Benstock. I see Marzia and Linda and Armando, all kinds of folks here on Hashtag Rise and Grind this morning. I love it. Appreciate you spending time with me. Hey, check it out. Speaking of spending time with me, I'm going to be in New York City at the Listening and Beyond Summit on July 29th and 30th. July 29th and 30th, New York City, the Listening and Beyond Summit. It's going to be absolutely incredible, and I would love for you to join me. So if you're interested in hanging out and learning and doing all that fun stuff, being motivated, inspired, and educated, New York City style, July 29th and 30th, go on and go to listeningandbeyond.com. That's listeningandbeyond.com. Use the code CHAMPIONS10 so that they know you're with me, and you can join me up in New York City, the big apple, right? It's amazing. Can't wait to go up there. You can join me, and I would love to have you. All right, let's dive in. Today's episode. Let's go. This morning, as I opened my Hashtag Rise and Grind planner, as I always do, I opened it up and there was a quote at the top of the planner, and the quotes at the top of the planner are submitted by actual Rise and Grind members. So today's quote was submitted by my man Rodney Rock Hatfield, right? And so I pop it open and the quote says this. It says, make a decision, then make it right. It says, make a decision, then make it right. So as I read that this morning, I was like, okay, hold up. What does that really mean? It's a little early. I want to make sure I understand what Rodney's saying right here with his favorite quote. Make a decision, then make it right. So I went ahead and looked it up like I do often. I looked it up online, and it turns out that this quote comes from Abraham Hicks, also known as Esther Hicks. She's a spiritual healer, a very interesting and unique and globally known and impactful human. Very well known for The Secret and Law of Attraction and a lot of things in that particular area. And so when I looked this up, the full quote that was connected to her says this: make a decision and then make it right. There just are no wrong decisions. You could go this way or that way, and either way will eventually get you to where you want to be. But in the moment you start complimenting yourself on the decision you've made, in that moment, you come back into vibrational alignment with who you really are. Here's what she means, folks. Let me break this down to you in layman's terms. Here's what she means. Do not spend too much time trying to figure out what to do. Instead, spend most of your time acting, doing, and then figuring out how to make it work. Just do now. Decide. Do not procrastinate. Do not allow yourself to ultimately get so caught up in the act of deciding that you get pulled away from the act of actually acting. You must take action, folks, and then figure it out. Figure out how to make it work, how to make that decision right. Sometimes we make a decision and ultimately, initially, it might feel wrong. But if you learn from that and it guides you to the next thing that ultimately ends up right, then isn't that wrong decision actually a right decision because it was a step on your path to get you where you ultimately wanted to go? Makes sense? Aha! Aha! You're like, okay, now I get that, right? Now I get that. So I love this quote by Rodney. I appreciate you submitting that this morning. Another way to really look at this concept, right, of how important it is to take action, to just decide. My man Will Smith put it this way. Will Smith said, just decide. Oh, I pulled up the wrong graphic now that I look at it. You guys wouldn't know that over on Clubhouse, but I just noticed that. That's the wrong one. Good thing I wrote it down. Will Smith said this: just decide what's it gonna be, who you're gonna be, and how you're gonna do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is gonna get out of your way. Just decide. Sometimes it's really that simple. You see, Monday, friends, Mr. Eddie Brown, who I see in here, Whitney Wells, and Michael Guthrie, and Kim Fair, my man Justin, and Kimberly, and Honey, who is with us today, and my man William Tong. This week, I asked you each to ask yourself a question, basically, or to answer a question. So Monday I said, do you even know? Like, what do you believe in? Ask yourself that question and answer it. What do you believe in? I asked you that on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I asked you, like, to ask yourself, what if? What if I don't? What if I do? But to literally take the time to answer that question. What if I take that leap? What if I take that step? What if I make that phone call? What if I make that connection? What if I write that book? What if, right? That was yesterday. Today, I'm going to have you, I would love for you to answer this question. The question that I have for you today was originally posed by my friend Danelle Delgado. And the question that Danelle often asks and knows is this is a staple when it comes to Danelle Delgado is she asks you to answer this question. Who loses if you don't win? Who loses if you don't win? Now, I want you to take your time on this. Because you hear it and you're like, oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. There's people that lose if I don't win. Yeah, that's good. No. I want you to write it down. I want you to take the time today. If you're working out, right after your workout, take some time today. If you're sitting at the house, as soon as this show is over, I want you to sit down and reflect. Take 10 minutes, take 15 minutes, take as long as you need. And I want you to write by name, as many of the names as you can. I want you to write down who loses if you don't win. You see, there's an interesting fact. There's an interesting thing that goes on when it comes to humans. Here's the interesting thing. When we get sick and a doctor gives us antibiotics, 85% of people will not finish that entire prescription. They'll take one every 4 hours on Monday, one every 4 hours on Tuesday, one every 4 hours on Wednesday, and then they'll start to feel better, and they'll take like one every, or they'll take, instead of every 4 hours, might be every 6 to 7 hours. They kind of forgot, and then the next day they like take one in the morning, but they forget to take one later because they're starting to feel good, and they got back into their routine, and then like by day 5 or 6, they just don't quite finish it, and by day 7, when they were supposed to be done with all the antibiotics, they don't end up taking all of them because as they started to feel better, they reduced and they just don't complete the entire thing because we're human beings and that's how we are and we're flawed and we're distracted and we're like a bunch of squirrels, right? But here's what's interesting is that same person that will not complete that prescription of antibiotics when it comes to themselves, a veterinarian gives them a prescription for their dog that is every 2 hours, and you got to wake up in the middle of the night and you got to take the dog outside every single time, and you got to do that for 7 days. 85% of people will 100% make sure that dog gets every single pill for those 7 days, no matter how hard it is. Because see, we as human beings are activated in service of others stronger than we are in service of self. So when you take the time to write by name, who loses if you don't win? It activates the service, the servant in you, and ultimately helps you tap into your greatness. So I want you to answer this very profound question. Who loses if you don't win? If you don't show up, who's gonna freaking starve? People ask me all the time, they're like, Glenn, how do you show up every day for this show, #RiseAndGrind? I could never do that, right? Like last night, everybody, we're out and celebrating Digital Dealer and being together and partying, and everybody's having drinks, and I'm not drinking. They're like, bro, why ain't you drinking? I'm like, I got to get up. All right, I get to get up at 3:50 tomorrow morning and put together a show that's going to inspire tens of thousands of people around the world. They're like, whoa, man, I couldn't do that. All right, well, can you hang out with us late? No, I have to go to bed at 11 o'clock, which, by the way, last night, I could not fall asleep for nothing, which normally I fall asleep in seconds. But I have this keynote today. I have this opportunity to speak to thousands of my peers in the automotive industry, and it kept me up until 1:30 in the morning, just laying in bed thinking about this opportunity today to be able to serve others. That's how excited and jacked up when we get when we have an opportunity to serve others, right? To use our gifts to make an impact in other people's lives. It'll keep us up at night when it comes to serving others. But I come home, I came back to my hotel room, I'm in bed at 11 o'clock, even though there's 150,000 things that I could be doing out there with my friends. Glenn, where you going? I get to do a show in the morning that is going to inspire tens of thousands of people. People say, well, Glenn, how can you do that every day? The question is, how can I not? I can't not do this show. Are you kidding me? There would literally be tens of thousands of people who would lose if I don't show up. Their day would change. The way that they start their day would be different. They wouldn't have any other safe place to go on the internet where they knew they weren't going to have to deal with death, destruction, or violence, but ultimately they were going to get motivation, education, and inspiration. I can't not show up. That's not a choice. Who loses if you don't win? Who loses if you don't show up? You see, not only is the Rise and Grind community and the Breakfast with Champions community, not only are they counting on me, not only would they lose if I didn't show up, but my team, my actual team at work, Brandon and Alex and Jessica and Crystal, right? My wife and the people that we do business with that create our shirts, and the people that we do business with that create our planners, and the people that we do business with that handle our websites and all of those things, the digital sides of everything that we do. They lose if I don't win. If my company, if I don't show up anymore, I just stop showing up and the company goes under, their lives are at stake. Each and every one of them. Yeah, Glenn, but they could go out and get a job and they'll be okay. Maybe not. Maybe they lose their job, and then maybe that loss of a job, they go out to the market and maybe they can't get another job that pays the same or that gives them the same fulfillment. Maybe they fall into a state of depression, and maybe at some point, heaven forbid, they end up on the side of the street like I did after a series of unfortunate events. Who loses if you don't win? There are people counting on you. Do my kids, every single one of them. Every single one of them. If I don't win, if I don't give 110%, if I don't build my company, if I don't build my faith, if I don't build my fitness, if I don't focus on those key pillars, faith, fitness, friends, family, finances, my career, my self-development, if I don't win in all of those single areas, my kids, their lives are at risk, man. They're relying on me for food. They're relying on me for clothing. They're relying on me for a safe environment, dude. And think about their kids. If they don't make it, they can't go out and have kids. There's lives at stake on that side too. Joel, Willow, Savannah, Kira, Meredith, Caroline, Oakland, Fisher. They all lose if I don't win. Not to mention my wife, Leslie Lundy, the one who's made the sacrifices so that I can chase my dreams. The one that stays home and takes care of these 8 babies while I'm down here in Florida for the last 5 days. The one who's she's put every single one of her eggs in my basket, literally and physically. She loses if I don't win. All my dealer partners that I have the honor of working with, the honor of serving, the honor of helping them scale and grow, the honor of helping them shift their cultures and all of their dealerships all across the United States of America. If I'm not here learning and training and figuring out what's happening next in this industry, if I'm not giving it 110%, if I'm not a true professional in every way, shape, form, or manner, if I'm not doing that, every single one of them loses. Every single one of them loses. Yes, they can still run their dealerships. Yes, they can have some wins in certain areas, but they will not be able to get the gift that only I can bring, the unique gift that only I can bring. They lose if I don't win. I have to be an expert. I have to be the master. I have to have my finger on the pulse of this industry every minute of every day so that I can serve them at the absolute utmost highest level humanly possible. They lose if I don't win. Who loses if you don't win? The homeless guy doesn't get $1 if I don't have it to give. The women that we saved from human sex trafficking by coming together and raising $400,000 overnight for an amazing organization called Rescue One Global. Those people, their lives do not get saved if I don't show up and I don't win. My elite group doesn't get the connection that they may need or the experience that they need. The people that I bought quads and dirt bikes from, that I spend about every 10 days going back to buy more parts and get things fixed, they lose if I don't win. Best Buy, that I bought my big screen TV from and we buy our appliances from, they lose if I don't win. All my different streaming services that I use, my studio, all the different camera equipment and streaming and Wirecast and subscription processes that I have, they all lose if I don't win. Listen, your life matters far, far, far more than you can possibly imagine. You see, you inherently are a child of God, the God of the universe, the God who made everything. And what that means is you are intrinsically connected. You are an integral piece of this menagerie, of this global puzzle. And so when you win, when you rise, we rise. But who loses if you don't? Make a list. Write down their names. Make it personal. When you put a name to it, when you make it personal, when you feel that connection, it will lift your spirit and it'll spark something in you that you didn't even know existed. It'll spark that ability for you to stop thinking about the decisions you need to make in your life and to start taking action on them. Not for you, but for me and for us. You see, I love you. I do. I absolutely stinking love you. You are my brother. You are my sister. I truly believe that. And as your brother, I'm here to shake you this morning and say, let's go. There are too many lives at stake. Who loses if you don't win? Shout out to my girl, Danelle Delgado. I love you, sister. You're an amazing superhuman. Prayers for you. Excited to see you in a couple hours with CMA. And for the rest of you, if you need more videos like this, you can go to glennlundy.com. We got over 800 of them up there. If you want to talk about this a little bit more, you're welcome to head on over to Clubhouse. Head on over to Clubhouse. We'll be hanging out over on Clubhouse here for a little while, where we have an incredible lineup today. But most importantly, please shut it off if you need to. Shut off Clubhouse. This is the first time and last time probably I'll ever tell you, leave the room right now if you're on Clubhouse. Shut it off and make a list. For those of you that are popping off on Facebook, I love you. Take the time today. Make a list right now. Who loses if you don't win? Profound. Deeply profound. And then most importantly, come back here again tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We're going to do this all over again on #RiseAndGrind. Have an incredible day, my friends. I absolutely stinking love you. Let's go.
Don't stop, get it, get it. Don't stop, get it, get it. Don't stop, get it.
Good morning. On my feet before the sunrise. Stepped into my greatness, feeling powerful and energized. Thankful to be alive. #blessed. Write my mission, vision, values, and my gratitude list. I'm building up momentum. I'm making good decisions. I rise, I grind, I get it.